Hey, Kirk, it's Gary.
Gary, hey. I'll start off with, I know what you're calling me about. Joe called me this morning and woke me up. I didn't even realize what time it was. So for once in months, I was still asleep at 8 o'clock in the morning. So go ahead, bud. You have my full attention.
What's this about you saying I got a dishonorable discharge?
I didn't say it was dishonorable. Joe triggered me. I'm not going to make excuses. Joe and I sat yesterday for about 2.5 hours at my house. I don't know if he told you that or not. But for the first time, me and Joe had a conversation face to face, whether it be 5 minutes or the amount of time it was yesterday. In months, Gary. I think you know me and Joe have been at each other.
Yeah, I got that, and I'm all right with that, but I just want to focus on my stuff.
Yep. So go ahead. Hit me with all your questions, and then I'll end it.
Okay, so...
Unload on me. I know I deserve it, Gary.
Well, you deserve it for what, though? That's what I want to know to confirm.
Because he triggered me. And also, just to be clear, you know what kind of discharge I got from the Navy? Because you know my Navy career.
Well, I don't. I never pulled your records. It's National Archives. You can pull them. Go ahead. What do you got?
I have a general discharge.
Okay. So who told you I got a dishonorable?
That was told to me by two people many years ago, Gary, before I was even a commissioner. And the whole thing here is... You know Joe, what am I looking for? You know Joe better than I thought I ever thought that I knew Joe. I know Joe, but these have been some trying 3 years. I think you understand what I'm saying in my way of talking. And he triggered me. I brought up the tax exempt status for a resident here in town. Mm-hmm. And I also said in our conversations that I've had with you at times, because we talk about you, I know what you do. I knew what shirt you had on the other day because I know what you do is for vets and stuff like that. Nobody else knew what kind of shirt you had on the other day when we were at the meeting. And we have talked, about being able to maybe move up my money and stuff like that. You offered, and I've always told you, I'm good. I think that's what it is. In getting into the discussion about one resident who basically served 3 years in the Coast Guard many decades ago, long enough ago that he retired now after 25 years of working for the federal prison system. Uh-huh. Then after Joe and I, and then the current mayor, Lisa, within a month of us getting in office, I get a call from somebody that takes care of finances in the city do I know how to lead them in a position where they can find out, other than one signature on one sheet of paper, the 100% disability that would make that person tax exempt in the city of Millville. Which I don't. I don't have any idea. But that happened, and we got onto that conversation yesterday.
Okay.
Here, 2.5 hours, and then me and Joe went together to City Hall, and we spent another damn 2 hours there.
Uh-huh.
When I was walking in, I said, with that guy that approached you and I.
Yeah, but this conversation you had with Joe, I want to just focus on what you said about me. And who told you?
Me saying about you, because I know that the man that Joe's very close with that got the 100% tax exemption in the city of Millville.
Uh-huh.
Via Joe, because they were very close, and now they're not, evidently, after me and Joe finally got to spend a lot of time talking with each other. And it got contentious, and Joe triggered me when he was talking a little bit about you and the building. That's how it got... It triggered my ass. I've never said this to anybody else.
And you told him that I had a dishonorable discharge?
No, I told him that you did not have an honorable discharge.
Okay.
Hey, Joe called me this morning and said, hey, expect a call from Gary Meyer.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Who told you that I didn't get an honorable discharge?
It was a person that lives in this town. It was a couple people that live in this town.
Well, who?
I can't tell you that.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, so here's the problem, Kirk. For one, I have an honorable discharge. Actually, I have decorations in my thing. I don't have a Navy Cross or anything like that, or a Bronze Star, but I have a good military record, very clear, with an honorable discharge. I have an honorable discharge certificate, an RE4, and that's why I'm essentially the spokesperson for DAV. You can't even receive VA benefits unless it's very rare you'll get a general or other non-honorable that gets it, or an OTH or something. But I have a full honorable. It's not an upgrade. I was given an honorable discharge.
And me and Joe did not talk about it because, like I say, he woke me up. I'm usually up 4 o'clock in the freaking morning. That's why he calls me whenever.
Okay.
When we were talking. And you and I have sat, and we've talked about, and you showed me pictures and everything else. That's why I never said anything.
So yeah, but I'm gonna just the other thing was that there was some allegation that I helped a guy in the Coast Guard get 100% VA benefits. Is that
no? Hold on.
Okay.
Fix that right now. This happened yesterday, and I asked Joe because we got on to this guy, and this guy is Tim Sperania.
I never even heard of him. I don't know who he is. I never helped anybody like that. I never heard of the guy.
Understood? This is when Joe triggered me, and I said what I said, unfortunately. Because Joe used to be very, very close with Tim Sperania. Tim Sperania, I never knew him until we started running for commission. I'm going to be perfectly clear here with you. I'm going to cut it short because it's to the point. Tim Sperania called me because I knew him only from shooting sporting clay competitions, and he's a shooter too. I didn't know him. He was a competitor. Well, Tim Sperania called me one day and said, "Hey, can you come over to my house? I have a neighbor that she has questions. She's thinking about running for city commission. She's single. She has 2 kids." And I said, "Tim," I knew him enough to know him as Tim, the competitors in the sporting clay world. I said, "Yeah, sure." This was during the petition time of us running for election. And he said, "Well, you want to come over to the house?" I said, "Tim, where do you live?" That's how well I knew Tim Sperania. So that's that part of that phone call.
Yeah, but how did I get involved in his disability claim?
I asked Joe because I know you offered me help.
Yeah, I'm actually formally the benefits officer for DAV number 10 ABSEEK, and I got a meeting with the Veterans Protection Team on Monday.
When I found out that Tim, and I found out from Tim because he was proud of it, that he is now 100% disabled per the city and doesn't pay property taxes. And the way the way me and Joe wound up being pretty much enemies, we're not, but we did. We got to that point. We got to the point we were going to have a fist fight on High Street during a car show in the campaign process.
No, I get it, right? Like, I get it. There's a lot of friction in there, right? But, like, I don't care about, I'm not even, like, I could care less about all that. It's just that
Tim Sperania is very close to Joe. Joe says they're not now. That's okay. I'm trying to answer your question, and
okay.
I ramble. You know what I do. We've talked enough. The only one that I knew, Tim Sperania is like me. He's not the smartest cookie in the world. That possibly because of your connection to Joe and Tim Sperania's connection to Joe at that time, that, hey, it had to be Gary that helped him. That's how I came to that conclusion in my mind.
Yeah, that's just really out there, brother. And you can't tell people I have
I know it.
a bad discharge, man. I mean, that's slander.
And I didn't say that to anybody. And I'll never say that to anybody.
Well, I gotta tell you, I gotta wonder, like, why, like, maybe if you told another commissioner that, and they're voting to buy my building, and then they think I'm a liar and a dirtbag.
Absolutely not, Gary.
And then I look at like, hey, I get this inspection out of nowhere, and the guy's breaking my balls, like about a building that's 174 years old the day before the sale, and then I hear that you tell somebody I got a bad discharge. That doesn't look good on paper.
I told Joe I have never confronted Tim Sprogna about this.
Well, who did Sprogna tell you that I had a bad discharge?
And nobody has ever heard it from my mouth besides Joe, and now you, because Joe.
No, but did Sprogna tell you that I had a bad discharge?
Huh?
Who told? I mean, that's what I want to know. Who is saying in this town? I really, like that I have a bad discharge. That attacks my personal character and the character of my business. It really hurts my reputation, and I have a full honorable discharge. Not upgraded. I was given a full honorable discharge. In fact, I was asked to come back as a lieutenant junior grade in 2002 after I graduated from Wharton, and I did graduate from the Wharton School at Penn.
Oh, no, yeah. No, you and me in conversations, the few we've had, I know all about. I've never said anything, Gary. Joe triggered me yesterday. And God damn it, I'm my own worst enemy. I think.
Yeah, but saying I got a bad discharge you're a vet, man. Like, that's inexcusable. You can't just say shit like that. So I'm wondering who else is saying this garbage behind my back.
The man, I have never said anything to anybody besides Joe yesterday. The person that told me is dead and cremated 5 years ago.
Well, then you shouldn't have a problem telling me who that was.
It was the judge.
Pareca?
Yeah. I used to, I didn't know any of these people, Gary. I don't know if we ever talked about this before. I didn't know any of these people that I'm so... a lot of the city looks at me like I'm them. I'm speaking for them and stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. I'm just really, dude. Like, in other words, if you said Gary's a dick, I can accept that, right? Because that's an opinion. But if you said Gary molests children, that is like the worst thing you could say. If you tell me I got a bad discharge, that's really big, man.
I could be getting the shit knocked out of me by somebody, and I wouldn't say that about that person.
Yeah, but
I'm old time. You know what I'm saying?
No, but to say I got a bad discharge is and when I didn't is like saying I molested babies or something to me. That's a big offense to me.
I understand what you're saying. When you say that to me, I'm sitting here right now, I'm trying to stay on point.
Yeah, and listen, I'd like you to tell anybody, and I can show you my DD-214, my discharge. It's all honorable shit. It's not upgraded. I don't care if you got a general or an OTH or a BCD. It's none of my business.
Well, see, I don't even know what those letters are there.
Big, we call bad conduct discharge. I'm saying for you, I don't care what your discharge is because it doesn't affect me. But I'm very careful if I say... If I told somebody, that you were something that you weren't in a disparaging way, man, that's really jacked up. Especially I have a business here. People need to trust me with fixing their computer, their data.
Exactly. Just like the city has trusted you when you were contracted to do.
Yeah, man. And I'm like, so you saying that, bro, blows my mind.
Nobody, and I mean, I can keep saying it to you. I can say that I don't have to say it to you anymore because it's from my heart. Nobody has ever heard that word from me except Joe Suey at my kitchen table yesterday morning, because we have been mortal enemies, bud. And that has nothing to do with the purchase of your building. I made it clear. People were watching. People have talked. Because this has been months. I don't think any other commissioner besides Joe had been to your building and spent as much time as I did. There was nothing personal against that building. There was, like I said in the meeting the other night, there was my job as the commissioner, as a commissioner, to do what my department heads, because everybody thinks that I have the final say in my department, that Joe has the final say with revenue and fine. People don't realize what our says are, what we do, and what our, hell, I'm no stronger, really, except for voting, than a resident for fighting for or against something.
No, I know. For me, it was real clear, to just talk about the building for a minute. It was real clear because you could double the space, 3 times the land, and you get a real building, not a steel building. My building would be around 200 years.
I understand the construction of it. I talked with you yesterday because I was on my way in because Joe got to City Hall before I did. He left my house. We both headed to City Hall.
Yeah.
Because he asked me to go there and talk to 3 people because of our conversation, which was totally civil. Surprisingly, I didn't know how Joe was going to be when he walked in.
Yeah, I don't even really pay attention to the politics. I even got accused of writing the Millville blog. I don't do anything about it. I don't really follow that much.
Gary, you know what? I'll be perfectly clear with you. A lot of people got accused of writing the Millville blog. You're talking about the Millville Insider?
Yeah, I guess that's what it's called. I don't even know.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, I don't even know that. See, I don't even pay attention.
I'm going to be perfectly clear with you because I am sorry. God damn, I was sorry yesterday sitting there just trying to keep my head about me with the stuff going on High Street with the building. 10:30 at night the other night, I'm out there in the middle of High Street with my OEM manager because of supposedly the building's falling apart. I regretted yesterday what I said to Joe. I said it, and I can't take it back.
All right.
Tell you what the Millville Insider was. And you can take this to the bank and you can verify it with Joe. The Millville Insider was me. We signed off when I got elected. It was me. It was Joe. It was Lynn Parecka. It was smart people to help me with things because I'm not, I think I'm not the smartest cookie in the world.
That's all right. I mean, I never even think of stuff like that, man. I just, my whole thing is the veteran thing, dude. That's like really big to me because I know it is. I'm super, I tried helping that guy incidentally when you left and he lied to me. He told me he was in SEAL teams and I said, what was your BUDS training class? He couldn't answer. I said, well, you're a liar and have a good day. And I walked away.
You and I, we've had talks about veterans, about service, about being in the Navy over the years. I'm sorry about that yesterday because as soon as he said the name and he was talking about certain things, and Joe was waiting in there for me when we were on the steps together.
I didn't even know that.
I'm sorry that I put you in a position. That man lives right next door to Joanna, who is a city clerk in City Hall. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even realize she works in City Hall. We send our ambulance there a lot of times to pick him up because of his problems.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And as soon as he said cats, I said to myself, Gary's going to say something.
No, that's good. Listen, anybody that says anything about my record, again, I'm happy to show you my DD-214 or honorable.
You don't need to do that, Gary.
Yeah, it's but anybody that would say that, if you said 2 people and then you said the one guy's dead, whatever, go to whoever it is and just let him know, man, because I absolutely will go after somebody like that.
Hey, Gary. I told that person years ago it didn't exist. I told him I have conversations with you on my front porch. Everybody knows where my office is that really knows me, Gary.
Yeah, the DAV would never. I'm in the Legion. You can't even be in the American Legion with a fucked up discharge, I don't think.
And I know that, Gary. The key here is I'm just a person. I'm not freaking professional. Hell, when I sound like when I make statements in the commission meeting, other than like the other night, I'm going to have to go by my department heads, something like that. When I read my statement about the police department and union contracts the other night, that was written for me by the chief of police. Because when I have to be I'm searching for the word.
No, I get it. I'm not. I don't. Politics is totally disinteresting to me. It's not my thing. I just want to. I want to have my business building and go, and even this thing. But I hope it's resolved with the city here soon. I went up to
with your fire system.
Yeah.
Gary, that's done. You showed me a COO and a CO on the steps yesterday, correct? In your notepad?
No, that's what he said that he needed. And upstairs, they don't even have a record of anything from zoning or anything. They have nothing there.
I can tell you what you need. And I told Mike, I thought you were showing me the date of your occupancy, but I don't even know what the letters all mean. That's why I say I don't like talking.
A CO wasn't even given in 1850, and a COO you don't get unless you request. And the zoning was Wayne Coronado, who was here and gave me approval, and Chief Hess was here. But there's no paper in City Hall. There's not even a paper, which I have a copy of from, I put a zoning thing in 2014 for a sign. They don't even have a record upstairs. And I have a copy here.
I can tell you, when I did finally get to the fire hall yesterday, me and Joe, after our 2.5 hours, when I saw you on the steps, when we were going to City Hall to do what we agreed to do with some of the people in there, like we have supposed to have been doing all along as commissioners, for the better of the city. That's what we went yesterday. We had some really hard talks, which let's get off of that. The fact of the matter is, when I got to the firehouse, I told you that I talked to Mike anyhow, right, on the steps?
Yeah.
And we were removing Tyler I was adding you to the list. And Mike says, you don't need to add Tim Building to the list, which the list is the Wheaton properties.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. I said I think it's going to be resolved with Mike. Mike seemed to be a lot more reasonable.
Mike said, he told me point blank, Millville Industries put that system in many years ago when they were operating in there because they felt it was best for their business and their employees. He said the construction of that building and the age of that building that Gary can take right now and go in there, even after Tyler did what he did, there's nothing you could be summoned for. There's nothing you could be fined for because of the construction of your building and the age of your building. He said you can right now, even though Tyler wrote you for it, you can rip that out of there and throw it in a scrap pile, and Tyler can't say a damn thing.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything to the building. I love the building the way it is. It's great. And I just don't want the city as my adversary, which is surprising to me is I actually helped the fire department, even worked on their 911 system for free, never even charged them, and got it working.
If you would like, and this is up to you. Now, I know you told me you're getting married. I guess you're going to be out of the area for a while. Is that correct?
Yeah, I kind of go in and out. I usually go for a month and then come back for 2 months. But I'm holding it up over this. And Mike said, "Don't hold it up." But I can't sleep like this.
I know. When are you leaving, Gary?
I'm not until I get this resolved with the city.
Okay, so as far as I know, Mike is working Monday. He's on the way out, so he just takes days off. Which what happens? I've learned. When people are retiring, so they keep their head low in government, the way government works, because it sucks. If you would like to come to the firehouse, I will arrange that, and we will go in Mike's office, and he will explain to you that on the fire side, from here on, and it actually is, he's not making this. He's not giving you an exemption. He will explain to you exactly how he explained it to me.
No, that's all right. As long as it's resolved, I'm going to give him a fire report from Corky Leonardo because the fire system wasn't up to par, and we got that up there. So
that's going to cost you. If that's going to cost you money, you don't need to do that, Gary.
No, I got the fire detection system. I should have had that work. It was
An alarm system.
yeah, so I got that fixed, and Corky inspected it, and I'm just waiting on the formal report, and then I'm going to forward it to the chief.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to make that system work. You know, the piping and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything because of and I'm just going from our conversation that we had yesterday, because I had already had a conversation about you when I found out Tyler wrote you this inspection report.
Yeah, that's good. That's good news. I think Tyler, and I told Chief, I said that Tyler was very nice to me. I don't want to embellish anything. He was very nice.
Very nice.
He's just overzealous.
He is, yes. My word for what you just used would be to you, and I think I might have said it to you yesterday, he's a goddamn pain in the ass. He's a pain in the ass for me. He's a pain in the ass for Mike.
Well, there's other things that other people that are affected. You got Bobo's, you got Jim's Cleaners he hit, you got Blumenthal's.
I can name them all. We add to that list, Gary, and this just happened. Today's Saturday. This just happened last Monday. You can add to that list, and I have it in my notes of what I got to talk to Tyler about this next week when we bring him into the office.
Uh-huh.
The veterans, the veterinarian out here on West Main Street, because he just knocked the shit out of their fire system, and that's a fairly new building.
Oh, you're talking on Sharp Street.
No, I'm talking West Main Street.
Well, that's another one, but he got Blumenthal's on Sharp Street, too. Said that he has to drywall his attic. Hal Blumenthal told me himself. He's furious. He's got a lawyer already.
So guess what? And Joe did say that the veterinarian has a lawyer. So he yesterday when we were at my house. And I was thinking, because I got word that Tyler hit the veterinarian out here on West Main Street.
Yeah, it's on Sharp.
I figured it was him. But now you're not making. You are giving me even more that I got to talk to Tyler about.
Yeah, it's Hal Blumenthal, and
that's my veterinarian.
I love Dr. Blumenthal. I offered to help him for free. And so Hal and I talk. He's a real good guy.
That doctor sat there and consoled my grandson. He was only 7 years old. When we had to put down the dog that we went and got, me and Nicholas, at the Gloucester County SPCA. That was his first dog, and we had her for a year and a half. She was 13 years old when we got her. And she started losing all of her abilities. She lost the use of her front legs and everything. She still was a dog. She still wanted to be loved.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's a good guy. He takes care of all my ferals and stuff like that too. So it's good. Well, that's good news about the fire department. I'll circle back when I get the report to Mike, and I appreciate the call. Okay.
But with Dr. Blumenthal, just give me a minute.
Yep.
Dr. Blumenthal was our vet, still is our vet, because we have a new dog finally. We said no more dogs, but we now have a new dog. And Dr. Blumenthal, I was upset with our dog being put down. Dr. Blumenthal, my grandson went with me. He carried his dog into his office. We had a scheduled visit with him at 10:30 that day, but I called the nurse as soon as they opened and said, I got to come now because I think we got to put our dog down. And she said, bring her right in. Because she knew we had been in it, spent a lot of money trying to help our dog. And Nicholas sitting there, I'm pretty sure he was 7 or he was 8. And that doctor talked to my grandson. And he shaved the spot on her neck where he was going to put the needle in. And he asked Nicholas if he would like to have that, and he put it in a bag for that boy. And Nicholas sat there and held his dog. And I'm getting fucking upset now. When she went to sleep. That's how much respect. Now I'm even more pissed off, Gary, Because I was thinking it was the veterinarian on Main Street, West Main Street, going out almost to the city line that I was informed about with Tyler that had a lawyer. That's what Joe told me. He told me about it, but he didn't tell me exactly. You just told me exactly.
That's all right. Hal told me direct, and I talked to him. The issue is they have an attic upstairs that they don't use. There's nothing in it. And he's adamant that they have to finish it with drywall. And he goes, but I don't know if we'll ever use it. Maybe we'll use it later. He goes, I don't want to do anything with it. And he said, no, it has to. They went round and round. They said it was really nice. His lawyer talked to, this is what Hal told me directly, Hal Blumenthal.
Yeah. He
said his lawyer talked directly to Tyler, who was nice to the lawyer, and now they're going to the construction board filing appeals and all. It's crazy.
And I'm going to thank you for this from my heart, because I would have been hammering Tyler about the wrong veterinarian, Gary.
Yep. Yeah. Well, this the cleaner Danny that owns Jimmy Cleaners. It got so bad that he said, I'm not going to work on firefighters' uniforms.
And let's be clear with Danny. I always used to call him Jimmy. Well, Jimmy is his brother, even though it's Jimmy's post, whatever it's called,
yep.
Jimmy's Taylor.
Yep.
I always called him Jimmy till one day, because when I got elected, I had to get suits, because I don't have a suit.
Yep.
And I had to get tailoring, and I got to know him, thanks to Andrew Van Hook, who sent me there. And I always called him Jimmy, and one day he finally told me, my name's not Jimmy. That's my dad's name, and it's also my brother's name, who has Bojo's.
So Bojo's came in, and the inspector goes, oh, there's a crack on the wall, and they brought construction, and the construction guy's like, to shut him down, and he's like, it's not even a load-bearing wall. It could collapse, and nothing's going to happen.
And Bojo's I'm in the loop on. I'm so far in the loop that I know that Jimmy, I don't know their last name. I know it, but it's not going to come to my head right now.
Yeah, they're Greeks.
Between Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy was in Greece, because he goes every year.
Yep.
I've learned that by knowing Danny was picking up my game and buying suits and fancy pants that had to be tailored because I'm so goddamn tall and skinny. And I also know so deep that the man that was Danny's general manager of Bojo's, 2 weeks before this situation happened with my goddamn inspector, and lost his life on the Pole Cavern Circle on his motorcycle when a tractor trailer hit him.
Yeah.
I know about this stuff. And now, goddamn it, thankfully, this was a bad situation that we had to have this. And for clarity, I have been on High Street with that building. It's all blocked off. We got a blocked off up there. I think. Are you aware of that?
No, not really, brother. I come to work and leave.
The Corson building, it was spoke about a little bit at the meeting the other night. It was spoke in depth prior meeting. They shut the whole goddamn block of High Street down from Pine to Mulberry 3 days ago because, quote, the building's going to collapse. Well, Thursday night at 10:30 at night, and it was cold, I responded with Sergeant Stadnick. He is also the head of OEM in Millville now because Sherman retired. And Billy called me. He says, can you come out here to High Street? I said, yeah, sure. What's up? And I knew they had blocked the street off. He says, well, there's more stuff blowing off, and now it's landing on Pine Street between the Corson building and the LaBoy. And we got to decide if we're going to block off Pine from High to Buck. So I got out there. I said, listen, first thing we got to find out what's going on here, Billy. And he says, well, the only way we're going to do that is to get up on the roof. And this is 10:30 at night, Thursday night. I said, well, that's no problem. I said, I'll call over to the firehouse, and I'll have them bring the tower truck out so you can get up there and see what's going on. He says, well, that would be a great help. I said, hang on. And I made the call. And the captain and one other firefighter came out with the fire truck, got up on the roof. And, all this shit that's blowing off the roof that we've closed the major road in the city of Center City, you know what it is after we got up there to see? It's garbage that has been laid on that roof for years where they went up with bundle of shingles and patched the leak and stuff. And the wind had piled it up against the wall raises above. There's a certain name for the wall. It raises above the roof line on most every building in the city of Millville, old buildings. And it had built like almost a ramp. And with the wind, it was blowing those shingles and that garbage off. There's no structural damage. We were talking 2 weeks ago about demolishing this building, Gary. Now we know there's no structural damage. There is a piece of equipment on High Street, and they should be up there right now.
Kirk, my other line's going right now, brother. I have to go, but I appreciate the call, and I do accept your apology.
If you want to talk with me, I'm now going to put your name in, because I was at the firehouse. I was doing things in the city when you called me. Then I listened to it when I left the firehouse, and then I immediately pulled into the Wawa. I listened to it coming down West Main Street, sitting in the Wawa parking lot here at Sharp Street, talking to you. If you ever want to reach out to me.
All right, I will do, brother. I got to grab this line.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, sir. See you, man.
See you.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.